line with us right now,
rig
Officer
pursuit.
Stephen Reed from the Fontana Police Department. Is Officer Reed there?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us, sir. Just wondering what you can tell us about the circumstances here.
How fast
of
is he going?
this,
50 miles
pursuit.
per hour.
Well, it started with the officer noticed the license plate on the vehicle did not match the vehicle and attempted a traffic stop on the vehicle, and it fled.
I see. Why are there so many? We see a number of unmarked vans in this sort of caravan of law enforcement vehicles. Are those associated with the Fontana Police Department?
I'm not aware of any vans, so I don't know what their association is at this point.
Okay.
Officer, do we know, we've seen two people in the cab of this truck. Do we know if anyone's being held against their will?
We got reports that the passenger had tried to get out of the vehicle and the driver's not allowing them out. We don't know the relationship between the driver and passenger at this point, or how the passenger ended up in that vehicle with the driver.
And do we know if the passenger is male or female, a minor, anything like that?
As far as we know, it's an adult male.
Adult male. So you have two adult males here in this vehicle. What are the challenges with pulling over
Where did it come
something
from?
of this
Where did
weight
this
and size
trailer
versus
come from?
the tools that you have
18-wheeler
when
come
pulling
from,
over a car?
Just the mere weight and size of that vehicle makes it a lot more difficult. Obviously, we can't use things like pit maneuvers with that vehicle. The spike strips may not be as effective depending on the type of car or tires on the car.
I wonder how they going to do this.
Those all affect us trying to intervene with the pursuit. And
they just said
bring it to an
like
end.
it's not effective.
We're also getting word that
spikes.
there was a call from a female saying that her dad had called her saying that he was in the cab of this truck trying to get out.
Oh, there. Wait.
Is that what you're
Okay.
hearing as well?
Yeah, that's where we got the information about the passenger trying to get out of the vehicle.
What?
And we don't know if perhaps the passenger was the original driver or.
There's
or
how
we
many?
don't know the
6
circumstances
police
of that.
cars on him.
Yeah,
On
like I
them,
said, we
I
don't know
mean.
what the relationship between the driver and passenger are at this point, or how the passenger ended up in the vehicle with the driver.
I suppose the good news, if there is any here, is that this driver has not accelerated to great speeds because of the danger posed, obviously, by a vehicle of this size and weight. But is the strategy in a case like this to just essentially hope that the person stops and or runs out of gas and to try to keep it contained as to the extent possible?
Yeah, that's all we can really do at this point. Like the other intervention techniques that we have aren't really as effective on a vehicle this size. So whether the vehicle gives out on him, tires give out, or he just surrenders on his own would be ideal.
Yeah, what happens if it runs out of gas?
It's a waiting game with us at this point.
And the idea that some people might have that you can shoot the tires out or something like that. Obviously, law enforcement has weaponry to defend themselves
Shoot the tires
when their
out.
lives are in danger.
I don't know.
Would
It
that
might
ever
be
an authorized use of?
It might wait until they run
a
out of
weapon?
gas at this point.
You needed to get excited about something new in your life? Come here, because God surely showed up at Life Centers.
That would be a very extreme situation, because that would be a deadly force situation, and shooting a moving vehicle isn't quite as easy as it is on TV.
Right.
And we're responsible for any bullets we fire. So if we miss or if there's any sort of ricochet or anything else, we're liable for that as well. So it would have to be extreme situations before any of that ever happened.
Officer Reed, we know Fontana PD was the first on this due to the fact that that's where it started. Is there help coming now from other agencies?
We requested help from other agencies. We were going to turn it over to CHP at one point. Then the vehicle got off the freeway. Fullerton was going to take over the pursuit, and then he got back onto the freeway. So we are working with other agencies to try to get this concluded.
And just so we can remind viewers, we're now on the 5 freeway going northbound.
There's
at
nobody on the
Magnolia
5.
in Fullerton. This is a pursuit
Usually, isn't
that began in
freeway busy?
Fontana, and we have with us on the phone,
Or like they close
Officer,
ahead.
Stephen Reed from the
Oh, never
Fontana
mind.
Police Department.
Wait,
At
how's
this
there
point,
nobody
you
on the
have
highway?
multiple law enforcement agencies involved in this.
It should be.
Speak to the
it should be
challenges
shut down,
of
didn't it?
coordinating that. I suspect this is something you folks train on quite a bit.
He's just
Well,
It's
you
just
know, we
like
do have a
riding and
standardized
chilling, dude.
pursuit tactics that we try to follow that are similar throughout agencies, so we can work together when it comes to felony traffic stops or even just.
How is there
pursuit
nobody on the
itself,
highway
so
except
we
for
can
the
work together and try to be
car
as seamless
trailer?
as possible. But it is difficult. Communication
what time
with
was
other,
it?
departments
10:56
when you don't have
a.m.?
radio communication the same. Does add
interesting.
a level of difficulty trying to work together in something like this.
And officer, I know sometimes when we're watching pursuits, we see authorities back off at times. And is that because they know the person behind the wheel, they know their identity, and there's an opportunity to catch up with that person at another time and maybe not put the public in harm's way?
Sometimes that could be the situation. I mean, every pursuit's a little different, and the circumstances around the pursuit and traffic, where we're at,
Right.
all come into play with that. This one, now that we're under the impression that there's a kidnapping involved or someone being held against their will, it kind of changes the dynamics of just a pursuit of a stolen vehicle.
And because
Okay,
even once
now
the
it's
person
getting-
stops and you
Now it's getting really tight, and
do
there should
consider
be
it a
like
felony
a
stop,
bunch of cars,
you
right?
now have essentially a hostage if that's what it turns out to be. So that has to affect, for example, we saw a canine. I imagine you can't just release a canine at two people, or maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder situation because we don't know the degree, I don't want to say the degree of the kidnapping or how accurate that information we've received is. So we have to kind of proceed with them both as suspects, but with the mindset that one might be a victim as well.
Yeah. Also wondering, we know that
How's
there
there
is a cell phone in that cab.
There's
because
absolutely no
you
one on the
confirmed
road.
That someone had called their daughter or a female. We know that then you got the information this person was being held against their will. Is there a hostage negotiator possibly calling that phone and trying to talk to the driver to end this?
He was
The
far
person
ahead.
that called us got
The
a
person
call
was far
from
ahead.
an unknown number,
What was he doing?
so we don't have any access to a phone number in that vehicle at this point.
Bro,
And we
wait,
just saw
what?
this person stick their body out of the side window and grab something.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Oh boy! Oh, there's a
oh,
bearcat
shoot.
involved that is now. We've talked about the
What-
fact
wait,
that
wait, what?
the pit
What
maneuver.
happened?
Side.
At this point, number, so we don't have any access to a phone number in that vehicle at this point.
And we just saw this person.
Is that
stick
like
their body
their
out
car
of
or
the
something, or it's
side
just a
window and
random?
grab something.
Yo,
Oh
What
boy!
was that?
We've talked about the fact that the pit maneuver is not really an option here, but in this case we had an armored law enforcement vehicle actually
A
strike
armored
the
law
truck and
enforcement.
is now in pursuit. Can you speak to what we're seeing here, officer?
I am not seeing it. I know we did have members of our SWAT team respond out that way. I don't know if that's our department or another department at this
bro,
point. But I am not in a point where I can watch live to see what.
how
you
is he
guys are saying.
faster than the? Oh my.
I see.
Okay.
Officer Reed,
That's
if you wouldn't
crazy.
mind just being on standby for just a moment, we also want to check in with Rich Prickett, who's overhead in Sky 5, with a bit of an update as to the whereabouts of this pursuit. Rich.
The whereabouts.
Wow, that was something I have not seen before. This
What do you mean
Bearcat
the
now in
whereabouts?
the mix
It's
here,
literally
trying
right
to,
there.
Bring this pursuit to an end. We tried to punch in on the door just for a moment to see if we can get an agency, but it says police, it says North County. I'm not entirely sure where this Bearcat is from, but that certainly caught me by surprise. Just entered
just
the frame
happened
there
today,
and
right?
tried to pit this big rig. And just prior to that, the passenger reached out from the window
Are they gonna do a
and
pit?
grabbed something
maneuver?
from the rooftop of a car. And then we saw a person that was standing near that car. It was kind of difficult to see what he might have grabbed, if it was a cell phone.
Where are they
or,
going?
It just really tough to
Going
say
around until the
what
gas runs
the
out or something?
passenger grabbed off the rooftop of that vehicle, and it looks like
Wait,
he
what?
might be circling around to the same area
I
of
don't
that
know.
parked car and the individual that was on the sidewalk just before the Bearcat got into the mix here. And you're seeing another unmarked
They're going back
vehicle
to
directly
the
behind
same
him.
area
So,
where they grab something off, like with the car on the
possibly
bike.
detectives, just kind of hard to say at this point. But now Fontana PD, the black and white, the squad cars have backed off, and the Bearcat is now basically the lead car in this pursuit as this semi continues to make its way through Buena Park, clearly more erratic at this point, crossing over lanes, not necessarily, you know, staying in its lane or going the speed limit as we have seen for the past hour or so. And now we're just going through a small residential area. We saw some people
Thinking about going solar, but not sure
Dang
whether it's worth
it.
it for your home? Well, before you get
kind of try and get out of the way. We saw people that were walking around in some of these cars that are where this big rig is just kind of coming up in a hurry, and they just don't know that there's a pursuit that's
Artesia
happening in their
Boulevard?
neighborhood. And here we go. Let's see.
What
He
in
might
the world?
go for, okay, so he's looking for that angle, and the driver of that big rig knows it, and you can see he kind of accelerates as soon as he sees that Bearcat get close, and they're squeezing by that flatbed pickup truck. And we're in a residential area at
Is there-
this point.
It has
The
to be a
large
dead end
cars,
somewhere,
both of them
right?
are large, the big rig and the Bearcat. So
What a turn.
likely won't see a pit here on this surface street here, but tries to take advantage of those turns to try and find an angle to spin this trailer around, or the tractor around. So going a little fast for a neighborhood here, about 40 miles an hour with parked cars on both sides. Looks like it's kind of curving around here, coming to a stop, four-way stop here. No one else, okay, cutting through. And those unmarked vehicles still behind the Bearcat at this point, monitoring this as well. Still have the helicopter overhead, Orange County Sheriff, I believe, still overhead watching this. And CHP giving updates as well. We did see CHP get involved when this
There's no dip. Imagine the
tractor
dip,
was
bro.
on the 91 freeway. And that's really the only chatter we have heard from time to time. There's a car trying to get out of the
That's
way.
the first
But,
car
you
that
know,
was in his way the entire time.
passenger, you know, reaching out, not, you know, likely had the opportunity to get out of the car entirely, but just reached, grabbed something from the vehicle, from the rooftop
what
of
is
that
the
car, and then got back in.
law enforcement doing?
So that was kind of interesting. Okay, so the Bearcat able to get in front of it and box him in. There's the unmarked cars,
Okay.
guns drawn.
There's like
Passenger
5
side
cars.
is open at this point. We're gonna have to
Oh,
be cautious
surrender,
here
I think, yeah.
as to how tight we stay on the shot. But it looks like the passenger is getting out with his hands up. We'll try and get a little bit more forward on the
Wait, they're chasing
tractor
this
here.
car with
Why
this
not just for a
van?
second here? You can see the whole intersection
Wait,
occupied
what is
now
that
by
van?
law enforcement. Cars at a
There's
stop.
like, how many
All
cars?
the officers converging now.
5.
He really
There's
doesn't
9
have
cars
anywhere to
on
go,
that.
at least forward. And he just hoped that he doesn't throw it in reverse. At this point, passenger, door
Hold on.
open, hands up. And we'll see what happens here next. You can see an officer that's through the top of that Bearcat and has clear sight of the driver. And giving commands, has that rifle drawn. You can see the canine off to the right sides, ready to go if need be. And here comes the driver, door open. I do not see anything in the hands of either one of these men that are getting out of this truck. Okay, backing up. Looks like he's complying at this point. And this is likely going to come to an end here any second as he is being commanded to back up towards officers. And they're going to slap the cuffs on this guy here in just a quick second. K9 still on standby. They don't know what to... Ooh, okay, so down on the ground, guns drawn.
Oh.
Still don't know what's going to happen with the passenger other than the fact that he is... It appears that he is complying with commands at this point.
He got
the
down
K9
really
is
fast.
being backed off and being brought around to the passenger side. One officer with that ballistic shield just in case. And so the driver now in custody. and officers are making their way around to take the passenger, or at least detain the passenger at this point. Whether or not he was in that vehicle against his will or not, they will still detain that person and determine whether or not he was an accomplice in this pursuit or possible big rig. Multiple agencies here, primarily Fontana PD. Hard to say where the Bearcat came from, but that was an interesting tactic, and that is something I have not seen in the course of LA pursuits, and that is something that was certainly effective in bringing this to a stop here at the intersection. You know, not only
it's just chilling, bro.
being large enough to get in front of this truck.
I can't believe like they actually pulled over to like a different car and grabbed something out of there.
To the
they had time to
driver of
do
that
it too.
stolen truck, knowing that officers now mean business, and they're going to intervene with multiple tactics here. And he doesn't have free reign to just drive that big rig. Okay, putting something down there, maybe a cell phone, kind of hard to say, but okay, sidestepping from the car.
Cell phone.
As far as we know, just the 2 men that were inside that big rig. Not much room for more. Backing up towards officers here.
Pretty much that's
there we
it.
Go. So both the driver and the passenger now in custody. They will go up to the cab here and just double check, make sure that there's no other threat inside. And we should see the code 4 sign here in just a moment. And there it is. So on the radio, that officer there, letting them know that it's clear. We'll find out eventually if there was maybe a firearm or any weapons inside that cab.
There's probably 10 or 11
maybe
cars
find out
on
what
it.
was in the bottles there, but certainly an interesting pursuit here as it made its way out of the inland end.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Empire through LA County, or at least the eastern portion of LA County, into Orange County, and now coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, it would have been doubled.